Rise and shine, rise and shine. Time to get up, time to wake up, time to ride home, time to grind, get to work, time to get going this morning. Good morning. I'm Donovan Darius. I'm here with a word of encouragement to you today. Today we're going to talk about the 4 seasons of life. I read on the internet before I start this session, and it talked about the seasons of life, and it talked about gardening. It said planting in the proper season is the beginning and is the start, is the initiator of a prosperous garden. And so that means if we apply that to our life, the fact of us knowing what season we're in our lives and what we're doing is a proper indicator of success for our lives. How many of you guys know that there are 4 seasons of our life? Just like there's winter, there's spring, there's summer, there's fall. Those are the same thing. Not only are they naturally, but they also apply to our lives. And so the question you may ask yourself is, what should I be doing when I find myself in that season? And how do I identify where I'm at in that season of my life? Now, let me let you know that you can be in one season, in one direction, in one area of your life, and in another season, in another area of your life. But understanding what season and planting in the proper season is a prerequisite of you having a prosperous garden. So let's talk about it. There's winter, there's spring, there's summer, there's fall. What do we do in those seasons? In the wintertime, let's break it down. In the wintertime, when the wintertime is cold out, it seems like it's nothing growing, it seems like everything is dead. You may find yourself in that season right now. You may find out that everything that you try isn't working. You may feel like there's nothing really growing. You may feel like there's nothing really prospering, but that is not the indicator of what's happening in your life. You see, the wintertime is a time for you to dream. That's a time for you to dream. When there's nothing for you to actually do outwardly, that's the time for you to go inwardly, for you to dream, for you to imagine, for you to start to visualize. It seems like it's a time of dryness, but it's a time for you to start over. Maybe it's to start over a business. Maybe it's to start over an idea. Maybe it's to start over a relationship. Whatever it is, the winter time has its purpose. It's a time for you to start over. It's a time for you to dream. It's a time for you to imagine. So it's a time for you. You got where you're at right now because you started over one day. You got where you're at right now because you imagined it one day. And so understanding that the purpose of wintertime is not to throw in the towel. The purpose of wintertime is not to say, okay, all is lost. But the purpose of wintertime in our lives is a time for us to dream again. Write those things down. Dream again. Imagine. Go inside and let the inside dictate what happens on the outside. Then we move into the springtime. After the wintertime, we move into the springtime. Now we all love the springtime. The weather gets nice outside. You know what I'm saying? The flowers start to grow. Things, the weather, you know what I'm saying? We start to wear out our shorts, our t-shirts. You get to do all those things. But what does that mean in our life? What does the springtime indicate in our life? See, that's a time now based off of our imagining in the wintertime, based off our dreaming in the wintertime, based off of starting over in the wintertime. That is the time for us to plan out things now. Now is the time for us to write things down and plan them out, synchronize them. What would I do? What would I do first? What would I do second in my relationship, on my job, with my family, with my kids? Now is the time for us to strategize, you really put together, what is it that I need to do first? What is that I need to do second? What do I need to do third? This is what the springtime is. When the flowers start to blossom, that's when you start to plan. That's when you start to strategize. That's when you start to plant the seeds. You start planting the seeds. No, you don't have the harvest yet. You can't quite see it yet. But in springtime, you start to plant those seeds based off of what? What you dreamed about. What you started over with. What you imagined. What you saw in your dry season. It's a time for you to walk in faith and not by sight. See, when a farmer puts the plants in the seeds, I've never seen a farmer plant crops and then he go out the next day and because he don't see any crops, he just say, man, I give up. what that farmer knows, he or she walks in faith, knowing that if I plant this seeds, if I give it proper sunlight, if I give it proper nourishment, proper water, that this seed will grow. So the springtime of your life may be a time for you to start planning out that next vacation, planning out the next move you make in your career, planning out the next move you make in your relationship, planning out what you do with your children. It's a time to strategize. To strategy, meaning, when you strategize things, that means there's pros and there's cons. It's time for you to really think about what is the pros of this, what is the cons of this, and it's time for you to plant seeds. It's time for you to plant the seeds. Make that phone call. You know what I'm saying? Make that first effort. It's time for you to reach out. So after springtime comes, what do we have next? We have the summertime. Now after we plant those seeds, now the heat is on. When we get to the summertime, we're walking by faith. We start to work the process. You know what I'm saying? We start working the process. It seems like it's hot. It seems like the temperature gets hot. It seems like there's nothing but challenges all around. How many of you guys may feel like that? It may feel like nothing but all you see is challenges everywhere you turn. There's challenges everywhere you turn. There's bad news everywhere you turn. It seems like it's working. Nothing seems like it's flowing. But that is the time for summertime. The summertime is the time when the pressure's on, when the temperature's hot, when you're working this process. You're working what you strategized. You're working what you planted. You're working what you planned out. You're working this thing now. This is the key time for you to be working. So you may feel like, man, if you take a pause, you may seem like, man, all I'm doing is just working the process. All I'm doing is just working. I don't see anything yet, but I'm still working. I may see a little bit here, I may see a little bit there, but all I'm doing is working, and the heat is on. You know what I'm saying? The heat is on. It seems like people are coming at me from every different side. You know the examples. Like, you can apply this to every example. And just like I said, you can be in one season in one area of your life, and you can be in another season in another area of your life. But the proper thing to know, the best thing to know is what season are you in your life. And so remember, we talked about the winter. It's a time to dream. It's a time to imagine. It's a time to start over. We talked about the spring. It's a time to plan, to strategize. It's a time to walk in faith, and it's time to plant seeds. Plant the seeds for your prosperity. Plant the seeds for your faith. Plant the seeds for your growth. Plant the seeds for your family. Plant the seeds for your career. Plant the seeds for your relationship. And then we got the summer when it's time to walk it out. All those things you planned, now it's enough talking. I used to have a quote we used to say in football. It say, let your actions speak so loud, nobody has to hear a word you're saying. Well, that's what the summertime is. It's a time to work. It's a time to go to work. It's a time that enough talking is done. Now it's time to go to work. And you got to know what season you got to work to know what season that you're in. I like that, Josie. You got to work to know what season you're in. And in summertime, that's when you're working. That's when it seems like you're working. But then after we get to the wintertime, we get to the springtime. We get to the summertime where you worked. Now comes the fall. Now comes the fall. The fall, everybody, if you ask majority of people, you ask them, what is your favorite season of the year, one of your favorite seasons of the years? A lot of people say the fall. Why? Because the leaves starts to change. You know what I'm saying? They start to change colors. The weather starts to get cool. You can wear your sweaters. You can wear your boots. You can wear your nice jeans. You know what I'm saying? Things seem very copacetic. Things seem beautiful there. But that's the time but the fall time, what that represents in our lives is the harvest time. Now is the harvest time. Now is the time for you to benefit from all the hard work, from all the planning, from all the starting over, from all the imagining, from all the work. Is the harvest time. It's a time for you to be rewarded for your faithfulness. You know what I'm saying? If you're faithful a little bit, you'll be rewarded a little bit. If you're faithful over a lot, you'll be rewarded over a lot. So the fall is a time when things change, where things start to blossom. You start to see things grow. You start to see things change. You start to see your situation change. So understanding where you at, there's a turning of the leaves in there. There's the turning of the flowers. They turn from green. They turn to brown. They turn all different types of colors. Everything grows differently in its own season. So do you. you mature differently in different seasons. So maybe you may be in the harvest time in one area of your life. Maybe things are working very well in the harvest time of your life in this one area. And in one area in your relationship, you may be in the summertime. You're working it. You're working the process. You know what I'm saying? You're being patient. You're putting out the proclamations. You know what I'm saying? You're spending the quality time. You know what I'm saying? You're working the love languages. But maybe in your relationship, on your job, you may be in the springtime where you're planting seeds. You're looking for that promotion. You're strategizing. How can I move up in the ladder? How can I go to this next position? But then maybe with your children, it's the fall time. It's the harvest time. You're seeing the fruit of your labor. Your kids is going to college. You know what I'm saying? Your kids finally understanding what the lessons you've been teaching them and how beneficial they are. And so it's a turning. It's a time for you to turn the page. That harvest time and that fall time is a time for you to turn the page, turn it to a new chapter, to a new season of your life. So no matter where you find yourself, winter, spring, summer, or fall, you got to know that things will work out in your favor. That things will work out in your favor. There's a passion. The Bible says that to everything under the sun, there's a time and there's a season and there's a purpose. So there's a purpose for you being where you're at right now. But that purpose is not for you to stop. That purpose is not for you to turn back. That purpose is for you to keep moving. That purpose is for you to keep pushing, push towards the next season of your life. But understand that there are seasons of your life, and just because you're in the heat season, the summer season, doesn't mean that fall isn't coming. Keep going and keep on the grind. So listen, I hope that this encouraged you today as you examine your life and you understand and you try to look and see, what season am I in? Where am I at? Where's the reaping? Where's the harvest in my life? And so I encourage you today to examine your life with these 4 seasons of life, just as you do naturally, and you look naturally. Here we are in basically almost the springtime. You know what I'm saying? The sun is shining. You know what I'm saying? It got a nice little glow. You know what I'm saying? It's nice temperature outside, everything. This is at that time we're planning, strategizing. We're planting seeds. We're walking by faith. But there's coming times where we're working. We're working hard. So you find out what season you are in your life. You be encouraged. You know that everything has a purpose under the sun. God says the plans that he has for you are good, not to hurt you, not to harm you, but for you to have a future and expect again. And what does that mean? That God's looking to the next season. He's looking to the next season to walk you through it. So you be encouraged knowing that you have somebody and you have somebody and you have individuals that are supporting you, that are walking out the path just like you are. May you have a great day today. May you be blessed today. May you walk out your season of your life in prosperity. All right, you guys be blessed now. And remember this. Remember to go to the YouTube channel, Donovan Darris Motivates. That's where I posted all these videos, and you can check out some more for yourself as well. All right, you be blessed. Have a good one. Peace out.